Hey travelers, Mag and I here on day 50 of our trip around the United States. Today we're shooting from the Paul Henry Trail in Middleville. We finished our day off yesterday in Grand Rapids and we had a fantastic day. Geocache came out to meet us in the evening. We did some great caches out on the trails. He even showed us how to do a letterbox and an adventure lab, which we put into the videos and we hope you get a chance to check out. Today is also a short day. We're only covering about 190 miles. From here, we're going to make our way to Ann Arbor. And when we get to Ann Arbor, we're going to stop for the day. Because a lot like we did in Grand Rapids, we're going to spend most of our day there tomorrow. The reason that we're doing so short of miles today is, once again, Michigan has a lot of interesting geocaches for us to find. So we don't want to try and cover 300 plus miles and have to skip all this good stuff. So we're going to take the time and we're going to go do the geocaches we want to do. And when we get to Lansing, we're definitely going to go see the Capitol building. Because seeing the last few Capitol buildings in the country that I haven't always been to is on top of my priority list. Right up there with getting the oldest, which we're going to aim to do in Michigan as well. We're looking forward to having a great day. The sun's shining, not a cloud in the sky, and with a little luck, it'll stay that way all day long. So come on, let's go see what this part of Michigan has to offer.
The Paul Henry Thornapple Trail is intended to follow the Thornapple River Valley for a full 42 miles. The trail is being built in phases, with just a little more than 18 miles already paved. Aichan and I only enjoyed a short section of the trail where it starts out here in Middleville. After getting our legs stretched, we paid a visit to the Portland Public Library. The geocache hidden here in the library takes finders on a 3-stage adventure throughout different parts of the library to track down the find. Each stage gives you a clue that will lead you to the next stage using the Dewey Decimal Reference System. It is a very quaint, welcoming library, and each section was a little bit different. But of course, my favorite part was finally finding the prize that we sought. Always got to make sure to get that logbook signed, and there's only one way I do that. All stamped up, now just time to rehide it and get back on the road to the next one. Lincoln Brick Park is a beautiful 90-acre park established on the historic site of an old brick factory. Over a century, they've produced more than 100,000 bricks here at this factory that are still used in structures around Michigan, including MSU campus and some of the factory buildings. It's very cool to be able to explore all the old structures that remain behind from what was once a thriving factory in the area. And even better that they turned this once booming industry into a park for people to enjoy. It seemed Aichan could pick up on the smell of over a century of history here. Anytime we came near the bricks, she was enthralled by the scents she was picking up on. There's a 2001 cache hidden just a short ways down the trail from there. So of course, we had to pick our way through the hillside to come find it. That looks like the spot right there. We'll just give a quick check under here and... nope, not it. Okay. Where else could it be? Ooh, that's a pretty good looking spot over there too. Let's go check it out. Alright, keep your fingers crossed. Here goes nothing. Ah, there it is. Another old find. Aichan enjoyed the view from the top of the hillside, happy not to have to walk down and deal with the terrain. And as usual, she was even happier when it was time to get back to the car. Alright Mag, you all done? Come on, let's get out of here. But Aichan, we're not done hiking yet. We've still got to take the stairs to the ledges. Come on Aichan, it's just a short way up and down this staircase. Or not? I guess we'll take the long way. I was a little disappointed the stairs were closed today. Not only are they the shortest path down to the grand ledges, but it's also supposed to be a pretty scenic view on the way down too. Oh well, Aichan didn't seem to share in my disappointment. She was more than happy to take an easy trail over the stairs. And it still provided a very good view of the ledges as we progressed. It's a pretty impressive spot to see just how far the water is carved down over time. Whether taking the stairs or the trail from the playground, you inevitably have to cross this bridge to get to the ledges on the other side. There was no swinging to be had here though. Just a solid footing underneath as you cross over. So what exactly are the Grand Ledges, and what makes them so grand? Well, I'm glad you asked. This 300-million-year-old sandstone rock formation spans 5 miles along the Grand River. This is the single largest outcropping of rocks in central Michigan, with them towering over 60 feet above the Grand River in some places. This is also the only place in the entire Lower Peninsula where there are trails specifically for climbers. With our hiking out of the way for the day, it was finally time to head into Lansing. And as you may notice, somehow, we were the only people here. If I didn't know any better, I'd say they had an evacuation order. But it turns out that's just downtown Lansing on a Saturday. Our first stop on the agenda is the Michigan Law Enforcement Officers Memorial Monument. Each of these stone tablets you see before you lists the name of officers who fell in the line of duty. Their memories will always live on here. The Hall of Justice towers over the monument, which is also right next to the Michigan Vietnam Veterans Memorial. The back of the memorial contains a full timeline of the war from 1959 to 1975. The 120-foot-long front side bears 15 plaques that each contain the names of veterans who passed away during the war. Those names can also be referenced in alphabetical order here in this book. It's a sobering moment to realize just how many lives were lost contained on these pages. And although there was no geocache across the street, we couldn't help but taking a trip over to the Michigan History Center as well. It was the tree peeking out from the courtyard that really caught our attention. Meet Carl, the great white pine, the state tree of Michigan. He's been living here in this courtyard since 1986 when he was transported in by crane at 47 feet high. He really has grown up quite a bit since then though. Who's a good boy? And then we finally made it, our ultimate destination for the day, the Capitol Building in Lansing. Opened on January 1st, 1879, this was one of the very first Capitol buildings in America to feature a cast iron dome. And you can always count on state capitol buildings to have great statues and memorials. The only downside of coming on a Saturday is, while I have the place to myself, I don't get to tour it.
Well, travelers, that wraps up another amazing day on the road with Aichan and another amazing day here in Michigan. We really just barely caught this sunset. Right now, we're on the outskirts of Ann Arbor. We finished all of our targets for the day, and as you can see, we made it just in time. Tomorrow, we're gonna spend our whole day in Ann Arbor. We may slip over to Detroit and get some targets there, but for the most part, it's gonna be an Ann Arbor day. Once we finish, we're gonna stage ourselves in Pontiac and then be ready to get moving again the next day. We really enjoyed the opportunity to go to Capitol in Lansing today, and being there on a Saturday or a Sunday is the way to go. There was not a person in sight near the Capitol building. We had the whole world to ourselves. It kind of had that zombie apocalypse feel, but in a good way because we could find parking. And that, in a downtown area, is a precious commodity. We appreciate you continuing to join us on our daily adventures. Like this video, subscribe to this channel for daily updates, and we'll see you out on the trails.